Final 2 hours of the trading session, the final 2 hours of the April series as well. You're watching Midcap Radar live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I'm Hormuz Fatakia. With me today is Nigel. Nigel, good afternoon. The Bulls are taking a bit of a breather today and hopefully going into the long weekend. We've gotten used to saying long weekend for the last two. But of course, taking the April series expiry on a lighter note, I guess.
Well, that's right. It's split down the middle. Two indices on the top out here, which are in the red, and the two that you have on top of you, they're into the green. And I'll tell you what, the Nifty bank has moved into the green, just mildly so. You'll want that to press home the advantage because that's been the leader so far. As you said, the series has been a pretty good one. 3.5% gain for the Nifty, but the Nifty bank has been the big driver. That's up a good 7%, and that'll have to do the heavy lifting from here on. But we'll talk more about that and more. Let's get straight to the top stories. The stocks traded in a narrow range following conflicting signals from the US as well as China trade. Metal and pharma gain, while Realty and FMCG drag. Mid-caps fare a little bit better.
Divi's Labs has surged after Citi has reiterated its buy rating on the stock but raised its price target by 200 rupees, says that the company is their top pick in the pharma space and it is expecting $800 million in GLP-1 revenue by 2030.
Syngene shares fall closer on 12% after reporting a revenue miss in the fourth quarter. A mid-single-digit growth guidance for FY26 leaves the street disappointed.
Persistent Systems has done well today on the back of a strong quarter. The constant currency revenue growth was higher than expectations. The company has also maintained its $2 billion annual revenue aspiration for FY27. The management tells CNBC-TV18 that BFSI followed by tech will be driving growth over the next 3 to 4 quarters.
Waaree Energies falls close to 4% after Jefferies and Kotak Institutional Equities downgrade the stock. Jefferies has an underperform rating on the stock, while Kotak has a sell recommendation. Well, the markets are trading with a cut of close to around 70 points or thereabouts, but a few stocks actually are cutting their losses. Mahindra & Mahindra should come up for you on the screen. That stock was down close to 2% just an hour or so ago. That's trying to fight back. Here, Tata Motors, that's moved to the high point of the day, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. And the result that I'll be looking at very, very closely is Axis Bank today, because we'll get a bit of a sense in terms of what's going on the asset quality as well as how business is shaping up. Stock has been range-bound. We'll keep an eye on that set of numbers. And just one more before we go across to Hormuz. Whirlpool Corporation came out with the set of numbers. From the word go itself, I've been mentioning this, that overnight Whirlpool Corporation came out with the set of numbers. The Asia part of the business looked quite good. The growth was good out there, close to around 16%. But the margin expansion is something that the street likes. And most of the Asia business is actually India, which explains why that stock is now up close to around 9%. But Hormuz has hopped across to the big wall. He's going to tell us all the top movers and shakers at this Hormuz.
Yeah, gainers and losers this time around, and equal distribution on both sides. It's been a week where we have had more gainers in comparison to the losers, but there are earnings reactions aplenty and on both sides of the spectrum as well. Syngene is now down to the lowest point of the day, 12.25% down. Now the top loser on the Nifty 500. Not a good reaction for Canfin Homes as well, and also for Dalmia Bharat doing well for itself. Persistent Systems did well at the start of trade, still holding on to gains of around 2%, but is off the highs of the day. Two pockets that have been the highlight of today's session is Midcap IT and Midcap Pharma. We'll start off with Midcap IT first. Look at this. Newgen Software is up 15.5% after that. Strong results from Persistent have rubbed off onto these names as well. Sonata Software too at the day's high is up 10.5%. Tata Elxsi also seeing healthy gains of around 4%. And switching over to Midcap Pharma as well. Pharma as a sector has done very well, but look at Midcap Pharma. Natco Pharma is up 9%, Wockhart's up 5%, Ajanta Pharma. But there has been some correction from the highs of the day. Alembic Pharma too has given up almost all of its gains. At one point was up around 5% as well. Stocks doing well on the back of strong volumes in today's session. Look at Whirlpool, as Nigel just highlighted, 9% higher on strong volumes. Divi's after that strong brokerage note. Thermax and MMTC is up 15% is among the top volume-led gainers in today's session as well. And lastly, some stocks that are on the losing side today. Waaree, after some downgrades that have come in for the stock after the run-up that we have seen recently. Nava, TRIL, Macrotech too seeing losses of anywhere between 3 to 4%, Nigel.
Okay, All right. Thanks a lot for that, Hormuz. Well, let's get in Nagraj Sethi, who joins us on the show. Hi, Nagraj. It's been a solid session and a solid series, actually, for the bulls. They're seeing some bit of follow-through after having many down series. We're suddenly having some green on the screen. What would you do? The Nifty is down close to 80 points. You'd buy into this dip or you wait buy?
Hi, good afternoon, Nigel. Nifty has been in a spectacular uprun over the last 8 to 10 sessions, and we have seen 2,500 points of up move relentlessly without showing any reasonable downward correction. So, though Nifty placed at the higher levels, still there is no indication of any significant reversal pattern building at the higher levels. Or Nifty, we can say that tiredness at the higher levels. I'm expecting this consolidation could take place 1 or 2 sessions, and this could be a minor consolidation or a minor healthy dip, you can say, and eventually Nifty could move up further and hit the nearest upside potential of around 24,550 to 24,800 levels in the next 1 or 2 weeks.
Right, Nagraj, in light of this, what are some of the stocks that you're recommending this afternoon?
Yeah, I have 2 stocks from alongside. First one is CDSL. Chartically, CDSL, after the formation of the 1050 bottom reversal, has been in a continuous uprun. Recently, it has broken above the hurdle of 200-day EMA, currently trading higher. The overall chart pattern is looking positive. Currently trading around 137071 levels. One can look to buy at this point of time. 1460 is going to be the upside target, and 1320 one can place a stop loss. Second one is from a sugar side. Even though it has moved up a little bit in the last half an hour, it is currently trading at an attractive pattern on the daily chart. The Triveni Engineering, the sugar stock, is looking very positive on the chart. It has witnessed a decisive upside breakout of the range movement, currently trading around 447, 448 levels. One can look to buy at this point of time or slightly on dip. The upside target would be around 475. One can place a stop loss at 420.
All right, Nagraj, thank you so much for sparing time and joining us today with your views on the index and specific stocks as well. Triveni Engineering, in a few minutes, has now surged to the highest point of the day, 8% higher now as we speak. By the way, Supreme Industries too has recovered all of its losses and has nearly moved into the green now after delivering volumes that were at the higher end of their guidance, and they are also expecting better volumes in FY26. So good going for Supreme Industries as well. The management will be joining us in just a short while from now. But just before that, troubles continue to mount for Ola Electric, as sources have told CNBC-TV18 that the company will face more government scrutiny over non-compliance with the motor vehicle rules. Parikshit is joining in with more details on this. Parikshit, what are you picking up?
Well, we've heard from sources that the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has not been satisfied with the kind of replies that Ola Electric has been giving with regard to discrepancies in vehicle registrations and claimed sales numbers, and why stores were operating around the country without valid trade certificates. So they've actually sent them 3 letters already, and now a 4th letter is being issued to Ola Electric to understand and give details as to how many stores, Ola Electric stores, exist all across the country, state-wise, and how many such stores have valid trade certificates and how many don't. So Ola will now have to exactly tell them where all they are complying with the motor vehicle rules in terms of running these commercial establishments or showrooms across the country, because as per the Motor Vehicle Act, you cannot run showrooms without valid trade certificates. So they will have to give the exact number of trade certificates for showrooms and the number of showrooms which do not have certificates as well. On the sales numbers, the government is not yet satisfied with the explanation given as to difference between the registration numbers and the sales numbers that Ola Electric is claiming. So more questions are going to be asked there. They're also going to be asked as to how many vehicles have been delivered or are stationed at each of the Ola showrooms across the country. Simultaneously, the Ministry of Heavy Industries has also asked 4 vehicle testing agencies to look at complaints against Ola Electric, ranging from service centers, also sales discrepancies, and they will be looking at Ola stores and service centers all across the country.
All right, Parikshit, thank you so much for joining in with those details there on Ola Electric. The stock, though, is still around about 0.5% higher, levels of around 53, well below its IPO price and even further below its post-listing high. Take a short break, and as we promised, the management of Supreme Industries joins us on the other side to discuss their 4th quarter performance and the road ahead. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Supreme Industries, that's the stock on our radar. The company's past quarter's numbers weren't very great. It was a weakish set, though the stock actually has seen a good recovery from the low point of the day. Maybe the street is a little bit optimistic on the prospects for the coming fiscal. So let's understand more. We have Mr. Taparia, the Managing Director at Supreme Industries, who joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Taparia. Always good speaking to you. Thanks a lot for joining in here on CNBC-TV18. I had a couple of questions for you. Last year, you started off the year being quite optimistic on the volume front. I think you were guiding for in excess of 20%. That came down to mid-teens. You've ended the year at mid-single digits. That's the past. What's the way ahead? What kind of volume growth can you guide for? And if you could give us your sense that, are you being conservative? Are you being optimistic? And what's giving you confidence? Please go ahead.
No, the last year we have given the reason of the volume degrowth, where huge destocking took place in our plastic piping system economy. As there was huge destocking, now the polymer PVC prices have gone down by 22% in last 8 months. And the price has become very affordable. We believe that destocking has to come back to proper stocking. So this year, last year the country had a minus 6% degrowth. This year country is going to have a plus growth. So we anticipate we will grow 3 to 4% more than the country's growth this year.
Okay, and what would the country's growth be, sir? I think if I got that correct, you're going to outgrow the industry by 3 to 4%. So a couple of questions here. The PVC resin prices, have they already bottomed out? Point number one. Point number two is, since you're expecting stocking to take place, what is the industry estimate you're working with in terms of volumes?
Now the PVC prices, the local producers are very much trying to get anti-dumping duty imposed on PVC. Already anti-dumping duty has been imposed on PVC press grade, and PVC suspension grade likely to be introduced. But even if there is no ADD also, the PVC prices have come close to bottom. It has fallen too much now in the last 8 months. We believe that in a normal given situation, the PVC prices have no scope to go further down, and business conditions and demand at this current level is quite strong in the whole economy.
Mr. Taparia,
So you're saying, sir, PVC prices have bottomed out, right? The pricing you believe has bottomed out.
We believe that.
We believe that. Good. So that's out of the way. And industry, sir, I missed that number. Your estimate of growth?
In industry side, I think last year had a 6% degrowth. Normally, it should grow slightly higher than the GDP of the country. The basic forecast in the country growth is going to be 6.4%. The PVC growth will be higher than the GDP growth, and we will grow 3 to 4% more than the country's growth.
so fair to say, Mr. Taparia, that your growth for the year would be around 9 to 10%. If you are expecting a 6.5% GDP growth and 3 to 4% higher is what you are saying. So 9 to 10% would be a fair estimate?
Your thinking is very correct.
Okay. Right. Mr. Taparia, you mentioned about the fact that the volumes were lower this time around, and that has also had an impact on the top line as well, because you missed your guidance for that of 11,000 crores. So what are you penciling in for FY26 now, both on the top line front and the margin front as well, if you could share those numbers with us?
We anticipate this year our top line should be around 12,000 crores. And margin should be between 14.5% to 15.5%.
So if I heard that correctly, you said 12 to 13,000 crores on the top line and 14.5 to 15.5 on the margin front, right?
No, sir. I said our top line should be around 12,000 crores.
Around 12,000. Okay.
And margin will be between 14.5 to 15.5%.
Right. Okay. Sure. So, and since you've also announced new acquisitions as well recently, how's the Wavin acquisition shaping up for you as a company, Mr. Taparia?
It's going quite well. We anticipate that Wavin business will be in our fold effective July this year.
Okay, got it. All right. Sir, give us a sense about the channel inventory. How's it looking? How are demand trends on ground?
Currently, demand is quite robust because the product prices have gone down by around 12% compared to what it was in the month of April last year.
Okay, demand is quite robust. Good to hear. So there have been some reports that suggest that there have been some delays in payments from various states. How does this impact the Jal Jeevan mission and also other demand?
We do not deal much big way in government business directly. We
Yes.
go through contractor, and contractor business has gone down. So there was a big degrowth in the consumption of polythene material last year, and we also had a degrowth in consumption of polythene material. But we are not a big player in infrastructure business.
Correct. No, but there's no big indirect impact as well that you're seeing, right? As you said, you're not direct.
No big impact, except that some of our low growth was due to loss of infrastructure business.
One final question from my end, Mr. Taparia. You have around about 950 crores of cash on your books. You've also mentioned that you are still on the lookout for inorganic acquisitions. Is there something in the pipeline right now? Are you in talks with any potential acquisition candidates?
No, we had a plan to invest around 1,100 crores this year, out of which around 300 crores we required to buy the Wavin asset. And apart from that, we have got majority organic growth plan only in this year. If any suitable proposal comes, we are always available to acquire that.
Got it.
Right. All right, Mr. Taparia, thank you so much for sparing time and joining us today. Wish you good luck for the rest of the year as well. The management there of Supreme Industries expecting around 9 to 10% volume growth, margins to be higher than FY25 as well. And it shows that the stock recovering from the lows as well.
Well, that's right, Mr. Taparia, giving good news for Supreme Industries shareholders. And we have got some good news of our own for all our viewers. India's business news leader is now a click away. Introducing CNBC-TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles and financial world updates. All of this at your fingertips. Download the app or from the Apple Store or from the Google Play Store, or you can just scan the QR code that's up for you on the screen.
Welcome back. A slight bit of loss is coming in now for the Nifty. Now 80 points lower is where the index stands. Still, although about 24,250 mark. So no reason to worry, although it's still at the lowest point of the day as we count down to the final 90 minutes of the April series expiry. But it's an earnings heavy day today, as we have been highlighting through the day. And SBI Life is one of the other numbers that will be reported anytime now. Yash is joining in with what the street is expecting this time around. Yash.
Well, the numbers from SBI Life are expected to be on the weaker side in the fourth quarter. I'll speak about the specific numbers for the quarter that the street is anticipating. As far as the premium growth is concerned, the total new business premium, that is expected to see a contraction of as much as 24%. The number that we're anticipating here is 9,221 crore rupees. The total annualized premium equivalent, or APE, that is also expected to see a contraction of about 6%. The number that we're looking at here is 5,022 crore rupees. The retail APE, that is expected to come on the higher side, a growth of 8% expected at about 4,800 crore rupees. Value of new business, or VNB, is expected to contract by 8%. The number here that we're anticipating is 1,384 crore rupees. And finally, margins, they are expected to contract by about 74 basis points at 27.56% as compared to 28.3% on a year-on-year basis. In terms of qualitative expectations from the quarter, as I said, sluggish premium growth as well as VNB growth is expected from SBI Life, and that is on account of three things. One, there's a strong base effect which the company would be facing this time around. Second thing, the transition away from ULIP because of market volatility could have impact on the premium collection. Third one, transition away from the bancassurance channel and the movement towards agency channel, that could also hurt premium collection. Margins could improve sequentially, but they're expected to decline on a year-on-year basis. Still, SBI Life is expected to have the highest margins in the industry as far as fourth quarter is concerned.
All right, Yash, thank you so much for joining in with what's expected out of SBI Life. Of course, you also await results from Axis Bank, and we'll keep an eye out on these names and a whole host of other broader market results too that are awaited later in the day. But with that, we call time on this edition of Midcap Radar. From Nigel, me and the team that put this show together, thank you so much for watching. MF Corner for the next 30 minutes.